Things are happening at the Disneyland Resort, construction things and more. So let's get started, and the starting will happen in Frontierland at Big Thunder Railroad, which is officially closed for repair. This is a scheduled closure, and it should be down for a little while, most likely until the end of fall. We don't know yet what specifically they're working on, but scaffolding, scrims, and walls are up, and they do appear to be focused on the wood features around the loading area. This wall is up near the beginning of the queue. I tried to see what was laying on the ground behind the wall, but I couldn't really tell. Probably just tarp of some kind, but you know, it caught my eye. This is a view of the train launch on the left side as you enter the boarding area. Lots of scaffolding here. But this caught my attention. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I mean, anyone? Does you guys know what this is for? I'm curious. Meanwhile, we do have some scaffolding around. If you got to look really closely, but you can see some scaffolding around the dinosaur bones at the ride finale. I mean, I'm sure there are wood features there as well, but that is so it's not just the queue. And there's more scaffolding at that wooden tower that you can see about halfway up the lift hill before you make the goat turn. Again, so not just the queue, but still wood features, I would assume. We'll check back in the next week and in future weeks to see if there's anything new developing here, if we can see anything, you know, more scaffolding up elsewhere. But for now, let's head over to Toon Town, because we've got some new developments this week. You've probably already heard about Jessica Rabbit at Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. We're not going to talk about that today, but I will tell you that while I was there that day, we got some new walls up at the toy shop at the Small World. Now, we saw these walls up a few days ago, and my thinking at the time was that it wasn't for the toy shop specifically, but probably related to the work being done on that entrance to Toon Town. We've seen those walls up for a while. Turns out that is just the case. The walls that have been surrounding that walkway for weeks were removed on Tuesday, and we can now see these fresh new pavers ready for guests to enjoy. Now, where I thought they might extend into the Fantasyland Theater area, they did not. There is a clear demarcation here between the regular blacktop and these new pavers. And that demarcation is the path leading into Toon Town, and that's it. As for the walls, they've been slid over to the other side where naturally, you know, they're going to begin working on the other half to finish the job. My assumption here is that all this area here will be repaved, and it'll connect to the finished area here. Some were saying that the surface that they wind up revealing looked more like stamped concrete, but I think this would probably dispel that notion. These are pavers. These are proper pavers. Meanwhile, let's head into Toon Town proper to find new steel up on the facade of the Runaway Railway show building. Now, it's cool to look at, but it's not that dramatic. Most likely, this is just the backbone for something along the lines of the faux backgrounds that we've seen in Toon Town, you know, for many years. As a matter of fact, the concept art does include those green hills in its background. So that's my assumption, just green hills, nothing major, nothing important. We'll keep an eye on this though. It kind of takes me back. It takes me back though to watching the work being done on the building exteriors at Galaxy's Edge, right? We'll take a peek over the wall next at the Gag Factory to see that there is some new steel, actually a new structure being appended to the existing shell from the Gag Factory. This will likely wind up connecting to that open area behind the white tarp. Here's how it looked before. Now I'm sure this area will contain those fun pre-show elements that we've seen in the concept art. Otherwise, not much new to report from this view. The dirt and concrete here appears to be as it was last time we checked 2 weeks ago. So let's go to the Rivers of America next, where we have some very interesting news to get into. They have drained a section of the river there, drained it so they could access fountains. Fountains used for Fantasmic. Exciting! But again, like last week, let's not get too eager because here's the thing. There's still no plans for Fantasmic any sooner than January. Not that I'm aware of anyway. And even January is a rumor. So Disney hasn't spoken about Fantasmic at all. Not even to say, we're working on it. Nothing. They haven't said a peep about Fantasmic. So their actions say otherwise, obviously, because yes, they are working on Fantasmic show elements. There is no doubt about that. There's nothing else they could be doing here in this section, draining that water. Those, that area is for Fantasmic floats, so that can't be argued, or I should say fountains. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's around the corner or anything like that. We're still months away. But while we're here on the river, let's see what's happening at Pelican Landing. Again, I wasn't able to get a great view on this day because the Mark Twain was docked. But from what we can see from this angle, mostly dirt. But if we pause here, we can see the beginnings of a path from Harbor Galley, and it's kind of going at a bit of a downgrade there. Not a steep grade, nothing major, but it is definitely going downhill, at least to my eye. And this suggests to me that the seating area that they're going to eventually build won't begin until that surface area evens out further down the path. Or it could be nothing. Nothing at all, because, I once thought that they were building a swimming pool and a fort at Galaxy's Edge. Inside joke for longtime viewers of the Knothole Gang. If you know, you know. So, let's finish our day with some things that are no longer there, namely FastPass stations. They have been removed from Tomorrowland, Adventureland, and New Orleans Square. And I'm sure the rest are gone too, or close to it, but I wasn't able to get footage of them before leaving on this day. I would assume that the Indiana Jones and Haunted Mansion FastPass areas will be converted to queue space for their respective attractions. It's a shame, really. I thought these were lovely little spaces. The Haunted Mansion FastPass queue was beautiful. But I do wonder what they're going to do with this FastPass station at Avengers Campus in California Adventure. Curious why they even built this just a few months ago, if they were planning to get rid of FastPass. Long pause for effect. Curious indeed. Okay, that's it for this weekend. Go ahead and fill in the blanks on why you think I'm asking that question. That's it for this weekend. Stay tuned, as always, to the Knothole Gang for more news as it happens. And until next time, follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBaked Disney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBaked Disney. And if you enjoy the show and you would like to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/FreshBaked. Otherwise, be safe out there, be kind to one another, and FreshBaked.